Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope you've had a great week. We are back and counting down the hours and minutes and seconds to our kids going back to school. Time is approaching, but it's okay. It's all good. We can make it.
Well, I will say also countdown, my friend. Where will we be in a month?
A month.
August 13th. So
Wait, I know because I can get off the plane and I can say, "Howdy, partner."
Oh, dang.
Just saying.
I say howdy all the time now. I have for a while. And I've never been to Texas. It was just something I picked up somewhere. And I sound like such a dork.
It's all right. I'll be running down the hallway to like say hi to somebody, and as soon as somebody grabs the back of my shirt, I'm gonna stop and I'll be like, "There's a snake in my boot."
All right.
Yeah, we'll be in San Antonio for Home Dad Con.
Yeah. So
It's
kids are
coming.
leaving. I mean, going to school and then the convention. And the more I see about it, the more I see people are getting in earlier and earlier. People getting in on Monday like I am. A lot of people getting in on Tuesday. A lot of extracurricular activities going Tuesday, Wednesday. And then all the plans we've got for like the repainting the community center and stuff like that. I'm excited. I'm just excited. And we have one of our last planning meetings tomorrow night. And I am just like, what are we going to do? Just sit there and vibrate and yeah, we're ready to go.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Definitely where you're just like, all right, like we got to get all this done. And then, of course, every week that you have in between is just constant communication with the team and making sure everything is falling into place and
Yep.
things are just ordered and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, man, it's awesome. It's going to be exciting. Sounds like a lot of good speakers have been announced, and anybody who's like, what are you talking about? If you literally are just now crawling out from underneath that rock and one, finding our podcast, welcome, hi. And two, if you go to homedadcon.org, you will be able to find lots of information there, or you can go to any of our social medias and find all the announcements and other information. So there's plenty to see and plenty to hear and find out about too. You could still come. It just cost you a little bit more than everybody else has already paid, but I think it definitely makes some room for you. And I mean, you don't want to miss out. Good stuff this year.
Even though it is a little bit more expensive than it was, say, a week ago. Yeah. So before the price finally, the deadline hit, it's still by far one of the least expensive conventions that you will find about parenting, about many things. And for what you get for it, I mean, we remember we talked about it with other conventions. Like, we don't get a meal. We had to pay for our own meals. What? I'm going back to Home Dad Con, man. I need y'all to support me here.
Well, in our convention, we found the sweet spot, I feel like, with doing them at the Drury Hotel, Drury Plaza, and just all the benefits that come with that because you get amazing breakfast. Breakfast is so good. And then lunch we provide on Friday and Saturday. And then in the evenings, you get these fun little tickets that get you a couple free drinks. And they put out quite a spread for food for a pre-dinner type of thing. But I mean, honestly, like if you really wanted to, like you could load up on that and that's dinner, man. Like, I mean, straight up.
Yeah.
So definitely lots of things covered there that you would not get covered. Like I get people all the time are like, man, it's so expensive. It doesn't cost that much to go to like a Comic-Con or something like that. I go, yeah, but are you paying for all your own food afterwards? Like, what does that look like for you? So I think putting those little elements into it definitely make it a much more affordable and feasible convention for sure. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. It's ticking down quickly. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Last week, had some fun just chatting about tips and tricks for new at-home dad. I feel like we talk about that quite frequently just within like the confines of all of our online channels and things like that from time to time. But for it to be actually just something that we have a conversation about that is recorded is not always the case. So that was a lot of fun last week talking about that. Things that were also covered there, but also too, like a lot of things that we cover, the fact that we always are talking about you should always have a mentor and a men's
Mhm.
group. Huge thing. I know that's your big thing, Danny, to definitely push.
Yeah, come on, get on it. And just self care. We've talked a lot about healthy boundaries, which I think is incredibly important in a job like this, where you don't want to be the one that's doing everything.
Yeah,
And you
right.
will be if you don't set up some boundaries. And part of that boundaries is telling yourself, I need self care. I need to get away for an hour this week or every week, or I need to get away for a day every month, whatever it is you can work out with your family. And just how very important that is.
Yeah. The healthy boundaries thing, definitely, like that's a conversation that like that and self-care, I feel like are two things that continue to go on with your spouse and partner, that kind of thing. You're getting that figured out.
Absolutely.
And I actually just last week had like kind of a just was in a low spot. My wife
Hmm.
could tell, and we were talking about things and money, of course, as always a big part of that. She like we just never talked about it. I wasn't trying to hide it from her, but it came across that way, and so that of course sparks a conversation real quick. But like for me, like I'm getting back into like sports cards, baseball, basketball, football trading card type stuff. Like, and not so much like
Cards with a D. Okay.
cards.
I
Yes,
thought you said
cards.
sports cars.
Oh no,
And I'm like,
that would be
wow,
great too.
okay. Okay. I guess we're doing better than we thought. I
No,
got
just
you. I caught up. I
yeah.
caught up. Took me a second.
So, like for me, like one, I'm trying to put some of my stuff up for sale and things like that. So, like I was just like going through that, but it's been a slow project. And she was just like, I see that you've spent a bunch of money on buying some cards, but what's going on with the selling of the cards or whatever? And like it was just like, this is much more difficult than I thought. But at the same time, like I'm trying to do that plus also juggle the kids. So, that putting those kind of things in line is was just trying to figure out everything out. But it was a good conversation. It wasn't the funnest conversation, but it was a needed conversation. A lot of things to be alleviated to allow for movement to go forward. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you said, healthy boundaries, having those conversations is important.
Absolutely. So I want to get into more practical tips and tricks. I want to look at all the things that we've learned in our years as at-home dads and as parents in general about those day-to-day things that I would have loved if someone had told me these things. So much that I've learned through just getting burned in the fire and coming out. Oh, yeah, we should probably do this from now on. I definitely want to get into some of that more practical stuff too, because a lot of what we do is about that practical part of the job. How do you keep the kids alive? How do you keep them entertained? How do you keep yourself from going crazy when they ask you the same question
Well,
and again and again?
I think first on the list of things to do for a new parent, especially and also to go along with the new at-home dad, is to pick up a copy of the Ultimate Stay-at-Home Dad Guide
Oh,
by
yeah,
Shannon Carpenter. I'm gonna
definitely.
basically collect royalties from him later. On the, just kidding. Love you, Shannon. But no, seriously, I think just that is got tons of great information in there to kind of start things off with. I mean, we're gonna probably hit some of them while we're talking about things today, but that book is got so much great information,
Yeah.
and I think that it's so funny, guys who haven't even had any sort of connection with the National At Home Dad Network or anything like that. They find that book and immediately are like, "Oh, wait, there's other dads out there."
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So I love that is sort of the connector piece that brings them into the fold, I guess you would say.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like we got a whole list of things that we are going to talk about for being a new parent and tips and tricks. Danny, I'm going to let you start this out because one, Danny built this list. I'm a slacker, but he's amazing, and so not and a lot of these things are things too that, of course, like I've done, but mainly because of the book and also knowing Danny all these years. So I've learned a lot from those two things. So
Yeah. Book's
I'm
definitely
making
good.
Danny blush right now.
Yeah. I don't like talking about me that much. But yeah, I thought about it and what are the tips and tricks that I would give somebody? And I look at it and I thought, well, what is the biggest question that I deal with and dealt with for the last 15 years. What is the big, like the one question that always comes back? And there were two of them, and we'll cover the other one later, which that question is why. We'll cover that later because that question's got its own thing. But the biggest question that I keep running into, and I still do it now, and it irritates the crap out of me, is what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for
Yes.
dinner? And every night for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to ask that or answer that question one way or another. So I thought about what are the things that I've done with my kids that made that question easier to answer. One part of it was just to have a schedule of meals. We've talked about this before, but like Monday is spaghetti, Tuesday is tacos, Wednesday now for us is sausage and egg noodles, cabbage and egg noodles. And having that understanding of it's Wednesday, this is what we do on Wednesday. It's Friday, this is what we do on Friday, and not having to tell anybody. It's written, it's right there on the calendar, it's right there on the wall. That's what tonight is. And it's difficult to do that because you have to pivot with your kids. You have to be ready for them to go, oh, no, I don't like pizza anymore.
Yep.
And my kids have said that. And I'm like, wait, how can you not like it's pizza? What? But that was a big shift that we had to make in our house. And just figuring out how to answer that question ahead of time before it becomes a question. One of my favorite tools is the crock pot. The Instant
Love
Pot is
Crockpot.
second in both of them because I can just dump it and go.
Just don't
I
watch This Is Us, and then you'll hate the Crockpot.
okay, I won't do that then.
You don't know about
That's all.
that?
No,
Oh,
I've never
okay.
watched that
The
show.
show This Is Us, which is about this family in like the Pittsburgh area, I believe. And this really isn't a spoiler or anything, but basically they lose their dad because of a fire at their house that was caused by a crock pot
Huh?
sitting like, yeah, it caused a fire. And which also to the crock pot company was like, wait a minute. We don't appreciate that. But at the
Yeah,
same time,
I
too, I
bet.
mean, you never know. But yeah, no, that every time anybody talks about crockpot for whatever reason, my mind goes directly to that show.
Well, I had to look it up just to make sure. And basically, the answer is they can cause fires, but primarily due to user error and then
Yes,
potentially a faulty appliance. Because it's not crockpots aren't a danger. Crockpots are great.
they are great.
Love
Yes.
them. Would keep them in our house forever. But yeah,
Yeah.
having a just a simple thing you can walk in when you get home from wherever you've been throughout your day, or just when the kids get home from school, or your partner comes home from wherever they were at, and having a meal already ready.
Oh,
We do.
my
Mhm.
favorite crockpot meal is I make homemade taquitos and I go to Aldi and you can get these amazing like kind of already made like carne asada or carnitas actually like everything's already there packaged and you
Mhm.
literally just throw it into the crock pot with a little bit of like stock, let it cook all day, and it of course makes the entire house smell freaking amazing.
That's it. Yeah.
And then come home and shred it all up, and then I throw it into a big skillet with like some cream cheese, and usually I'll chop up some like spinach leaves or whatever with it, and then put that in to flat tortillas, roll them up, throw them in the oven for 15 minutes or whatever. Boom. Like put a little olive
Yeah.
oil on them to crisp them up, but oh man, my kids love it.
Easy.
Easy,
Yeah. Well, it
easy,
sounds
easy.
great.
It's super
And
tasty.
talking about easy too, a friend of mine taught me years ago that she always has a frozen pizza in the freezer.
I like
And I
that.
went, I don't buy those very often. I don't well, no. When you get and you hit that point, I was supposed to make spaghetti tonight and we're out of noodles or we don't have sauce or whatever happened or the crock pot caught fire and my sauce burned, whatever it is, being able to just pivot to a frozen pizza. We're having a frozen pizza tonight. And it's kind of along the same lines of cereal for dinner. Yeah. Okay. Is this what we have? This is what we're having. The understanding that the idea is just get them fed. Doesn't really matter what it is. You do want to try to be healthy. You do want to try to meal plan and things like that. But really, you have kids that are upset because they're hungry. You have a partner that's upset because they're hungry. You're upset because you're hungry and you need something. Okay, we take care of this. And really to fix that, to reach out for what's for dinner. Well, it was supposed to be spaghetti, but the noodles, I don't we have any noodles tonight. I don't know what happened. We must have given them to the dog. Who knows?
Kid
Weird
that
things
will,
with noodles.
I've yet to meet a kid that will deny pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine was 16 before he said, "No, I don't like pizza." And I'm like, "Okay, get out of my house." I can accept a lot now. except a lot of things. But
You're on your own,
having
child.
the thing for me is to look into meal prepping. Now, this makes sense for someone that's got 4 kids. Well, obviously, you got to bulk buy, you got to bulk cook, you got to meal prep. But having the ability to walk into your go to your freezer and pull out a thing of, say, spaghetti sauce, and you put it in the water and it heats up, and then it's in a bag, of course. And then you heat it up and you're done. You put it in a pan, you're done. And having those meals already ready is a huge help because you don't have to think about what's for dinner. You don't have to decide. It's already there,
Yep.
it's already waiting. And you don't have to clean up every single night. Adding pots and pans to your nightly cooking is a huge issue and takes way too much time. It's easier just to
Yeah.
clean up the Tupperware. I have to wash Tupperware tonight, not that giant 5 gallon pot of spaghetti or for spaghetti water. It's easier.
You
And
you
then
have an interesting thing on here I'm curious of. So I'm looking at your list here, and you mentioned something about noodles in a rice cooker. What's
yeah,
that all about?
yeah. So I didn't know this. I just figured this. I just learned this that you can make noodles in a rice cooker. It makes
Okay.
perfect sense. I mean, yeah, well, of course you can. Well, why didn't I think of that? I would never have considered that because for me, a rice maker is a rice maker, thus the name. But yeah, they can be easily be used to cook noodles.
I mean, it's
And
a hydration machine, really.
mm,
So why wouldn't it
yep,
make noodles?
it just works fine. And to be able to put it in there and leave it. That's why the Instant Pot is really good. That's why the crock pot is so good. You don't have a fire burning or an electric eye going. You don't have any chance your kids might knock something over or grab the handle or any of those types of things. You still have to take care of yourself, of course, but giving you the ability to make those noodles while you do other things, multitasking into, yeah, the noodles are cooking. They'll be done in 20 minutes or whatever. I don't know how long they would take, but they'll be done and then we can eat. But until then, we're going to clean up the dining room table or we're going to pick up stuff around the house or whatever. We're going to do these other things that we have to get done. And then dinner will be ready when it beeps. And it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I love that, man. Definitely. I think that, yeah, I don't have a rice cooker myself, but if I did, I would definitely go that route for sure.
Yeah. That's where I'm
Che
going next.
Cheerios makes sense on here. I saw that. I mean, you
Yeah. The
Cheerios
little
is a
kids.
snack, a meal. Like
Yeah.
it's very,
It really is. You give
it
them a
works for
baggie,
everything.
they don't need
Hmm.
anything else to
Especially when
eat.
they're little, definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Cheerios will save your life in a pinch.
Yep. Like frozen pizza. They're right up there on the list. Right up
Yep. And
there.
if a kid falls asleep, it gives you the opportunity to try to see how many you can stack on their
Yeah.
forehead or whatever while
Yeah,
they're
it's a
sleeping.
toy. It's a toy for everybody. So,
Uh,
but
So, wait,
mhm.
what have you done with this baked recipe? Are you talking about brownies and then you put coffee
Brown
in these?
cake. Well, if you, yeah, okay. So have a go-to baked recipe because you will run into things again and again. School or church or other organizations are like, hey, we're having a baked sale. Or your kid has a birthday party that you somehow didn't know about. Like they're going to school and oh yeah, we were supposed to bring, I told them, which I love this. I told them we would make cookies. And I'm like,
Oh,
did you tell
yes.
me we were going to make cookies? You didn't tell me we are okay. Well then, so having the ability to just quickly and easily throw something in a pan, get it baked, and you can do that in the time it takes to bake. And if you've done it often enough, you don't have to think about what it's going to be. You don't have to make decisions on what it is. You just grab that. And I would say a boxed mix is probably the easiest. Grab that because you're going to need a couple, make it, bake it, and cut it up and send them to school. And you can get that done in under 30, 40 minutes, I think. Well, all included, clean up and everything.
That's
So it's
hoping that the school doesn't
simple.
have like a pre-package rule. I mean,
Yep.
there are some schools that have pre-packaged rules where it's like
Yep.
it has to be that way, and you're like, no, it's so much
Yeah.
easier.
We run into bake sales all the time. Everybody thinks loves a bake sale. So like for me, it was key lime pie. I could make a really easy, I think it was maybe 3 ingredient key lime cheesecake, and it would be done in, it's a no bake. All I need is a pie crust. Boom, I'm done. And I could do that so easily without even thinking about it. And having that thing that you do that you can do very easily and very quickly, whatever that might be. Now, when it does come to a cake recipe, that's where the chocolate came in. If you're baking a chocolate cake mix, add just a little bit of coffee. It intensifies that flavor incredibly. You can
Hmm.
ask chefs. I don't know, ask Matt. Maybe Matt will go, no, you're an idiot. But, and then add an extra egg simple things that you can do to it that just basically raise it up a notch. Because honestly, I love to cook, but I love to cook better than anybody around me. I really do. I want to have brownies at the church bake sale, and they're like, "Wow, these are the best brownies I've ever had." You're welcome. No, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm gonna save that secret recipe of add an extra egg.
Yeah.
But I really like having food that everybody thinks is the best, and figuring out what you do better, what you can add to make yours better or just unique is, I think, very valuable in your meal planning because you're going to have a lot of stuff, especially if you're community involved.
Yeah.
PTO, everybody's got bake sales all the time. I'm so tired of bake sales. We're done.
So I'm still looking at your list here. The last
Mm-hmm.
thing I see in here talking about just the dinner type of stuff. Are you trying to lie to kids? What is this here? Superhero
Absolutely.
brand foods, Superman
Mm-hmm.
soup, Wonder Woman cereal. Are you
Yeah.
trying to hoodwink some children? Is that what's going on
Yes,
here?
absolutely. Yes. So kids often hate eating for whatever reason. I don't want that. And one of the things that you can do is to basically make them think this is your favorite superheroes. I'm not gonna say broccoli, but something that they don't normally eat. This is like, is this guacamole? No, it's let's see who's green. It's Green Lantern special space paste. What is space paste? Yeah, it's not a thing, but your kid doesn't know that. And your kid, if you give them a bowl, here's guacamole, they're going to look at it. They may love it, but a lot of kids are just like, nah, I'm not going to eat whatever you put in front of me. Wait, that's the Flash's lightning lettuce. It makes him faster. What?
Mm.
Who's the flat? What's lightning lettuce? What? It doesn't exist. It does
So
not exist.
you're trying to pull a spinach propaganda with like
Sure.
Popeye. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
sure. Whatever it takes to get them to eat. Come on. I will absolutely, well, I would say I would probably lie to my little kids, but I also told them Santa Claus was real. And I'm sorry for those people out there who didn't know Santa Claus is not real.
Dude, you're killing
Yeah,
me.
that's out there. So, but the other thing is getting them to eat often does involve playing with them and tricking them a little bit, and not in a deceitful way per se, but in a way that lets them frame it in a way their mind can handle it. I'd love the tip that you're eating with your kid and you preload food. You put their food on the fork or on the spoon, and you set it down in front of them and go, "Don't eat that. That's mine. I'm saving it." And I don't know about your kids, but every one of my kids would have looked at it like, huh, picked it up and eaten it immediately. And you make a game out of it. And again, that's obviously not your food. You're not saving it. You want them to eat it. But telling them that frames it in their mind so that they can look at it as, oh, this is a thing I want to do now. My brain says this is good. I want to take this food and I'm taking daddy's food. Yeah, you're not. But laugh at it, smile at it, and go, no, you took my food again. Okay, well, I'm getting this bite. I'm putting it here and I'm saving it. Don't you eat that. And you look away, and of course, they're going to yoink it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I go at that from a different angle. We've used the oh, I don't think you can do that. Like, no, there's no way that you can eat 5 carrots on one fork. No, that's not
Yeah.
possible. Like that kind
It
of
works
thing,
great.
and just test them on that one and see how it goes. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely I see that. That's cool, man. I think that just from a thing, I mean, food is always the one of the big things with kids that changes, like you said, on a regular basis. So having that little tips and tricks up your sleeve to kind of outsmart them a little bit
Yeah.
is always helpful because I feel like yeah that is a thing like wait a minute yesterday you really like this and now you don't like that like okay like, here we are again
Right.
so
Right.
definitely moving on to
Let's
other
jump
fun
down.
tricks.
Let's jump down to the house.
You want to jump down to the house?
I
Okay.
do.
Doot,
Because there's a
ding.
lot of stuff to cover. And I think getting to those tips and tricks around the house,
Yeah,
because
well
that's
we've
where you're
talked about
spending most of
Ziploc
your
bags
time.
and things like that before too anyways I can understand that so and we're also going to make this list. We're going to try to get it somewhere available. We'll see how that all plays out but
Okay. I'll have to edit it and
It's
because
all
these were
good.
my personal notes. I told Brock earlier, I'm like, okay, I'll give you my notes, but they're literally to me. You may read stuff and go, what the heck did you mean? Why did you put frog face on there?
That's
Oh, well,
okay.
see, that was yeah. So we might have to edit a bit, but sure.
No, I didn't say we'll get it immediately, but at some point we'll get it out there. I think that's a good idea. But yeah, around the house. So around the house stuff, you definitely have a list for here. This is a long list of things, but
So many things. Yeah.
so
Well,
many things.
one
The houses are big, so
is the question, and this is kind of around the house in a way, but of why. Kids ask you why, you answer them, and they ask you why again. And then they ask you why, and they will just get stuck in that loop. And that's just something that kids do. And it's very irritating because at some point, that's where we learn the phrase, because I said so. You're done with it, but it won't stop them. The reason is because their mind is getting into a loop and they're just continuing that thought in their head. And they need to be taught that, okay, you can stop here. You've asked why 3 times. You don't have to say this, but okay, we've gotten why. Just say, oh, okay. Or for my
yeah.
kids, it was like, just say, yes, sir. And that's what they would do. And then that would stop that and they would move on. It gives them the training, I guess, or it teaches them that why is excellent. It's wonderful. It's good. It doesn't make my dad incredibly angry that I keep asking him why. But we reach a point where we need to just move on. And I think that's the other question I think that I wanted to offer an answer to new at home dads. It's okay to break that cycle. And we all get irritated with it, but let's stop it before we lose our temper, before
Yeah.
we get angry. So
Definitely. So I want to touch on one thing because, of course, like I have an obsession with TikTok and finding all kinds of interesting things on there. But
yeah,
from a cleaning standpoint, I feel like there's lots of different like cleaning hacks that are out there for the house. But the one that I came across recently was actually there was a mom on TikTok that posted this. I did not realize this, and I was actually amazed. But aerosol sunscreen, if your kid decides to take a Sharpie and color your wall or whatever, anything, you can literally spray sunscreen on there and it pretty much melts it away. You can just like and wipe it off or whatever. And I was like, what in the world? It was amazing. I was just like, holy crap, like what how has this not been known for years?
yeah,
Like
right,
there's just
yeah,
so many
and
people that are all the time like, how do I get this off of the wall? And it's like this lady just walks up like, here's sunscreen. Okay.
and when you sent it to me, I'm like, what are we doing with sunscreen? What? How is that going to be used to clean anything? What are you talking about? But it was gone. Put it on that
Yeah.
Sharpie on the wall. Boop, boop, we're done. What's
Yep. So
like you said?
that,
Who did? Why didn't I know this 15 years ago? Come on, I could have
pretty
used that.
amazing. But I also like the other thing, and this is the thing I think that both you and Shannon Carpenter are huge proponents of in the kitchen, having a shop vac to
Yes.
deal with all of the crazy messes that take place. Because I'm sorry, your Dyson or whatever can only do so much. And
Yeah.
honestly, it should be left to just carpets, whereas
Yeah.
a shop vac can handle both wet and dry. So,
Right.
yeah,
And
like,
even if you get a Dyson wet dry vac, which they do have those, they're $500 or something, but they do have
sure.
those. They're not going to do the same job. A shop vac has been proven year after year after decade. This is what it's for. This is what it does. I've got a little. I would say it's maybe a 2 gallon shop vac here in my office right now because I've been moving things around and cleaning behind everything, and it doesn't matter what happens. That little thing, and it's gone.
Yep.
But knocked over a thing of I don't know, was it coffee? I never spill coffee, but maybe water and spilled it and just quick and my kid was in here and they kind of panicked. I'm like, no, stop, and vacuumed it up, and the light bulb in their head, it was amazing. And of course at that point I went, only the shop vac. You cannot do this with other vacuum cleaners because I know
Right.
they would if I didn't tell them. So but yeah, and I got that idea from Shannon's book. I've never knew it before I read that, and I'm like, holy crap, again, where were you?
He was dealing with it at that time. It's like
Yeah,
he
yeah, he
didn't have
was
time
in
to
it. He
even.
was too in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at that point he didn't have the time to write it down, and now that
right.
his kids are older, he was able to write the book,
Yeah,
and
they're driving him around. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, there's that whole side of things too.
One of the things I learned just this year, excuse me, not this week, is a pickup basket.
Yes.
So I had a friend come over. I needed help. I could not get caught up on cleaning. So I had 2 friends come over, and one of them says, well, can I borrow your laundry basket? I'm like, I don't want you doing my laundry. That's not what I'm asking for. And they were like, oh, no, it's cool. and they took the laundry basket, they went into the living room and they picked up everything that didn't belong into the living room and they brought it out and they set it down and said, okay, I need you to put this away because I don't
Yep.
know where any of it goes. And I looked at the living room and it was practically clean. I mean, it was so uncluttered at that point, and just that one basket, and it took care of the 90% of the room. I could go in there easily at that point. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you teach me this earlier? And he was like, well, I don't know. This is what we do. And that was it. That was all the explanation. I'm like, oh, cool, cool. Well, I guess that's
Yep.
what we do now too. So I have specifically a laundry basket that's got a little break into it and great on clothes. Absolutely walk into the room, put all the crap in there and walk out, put it away where it goes. Amazing.
Well, we've had a rule when the kids were little that they could only bring down like two or three toys from their room or whatever, and everything else had to stay upstairs. And we were like, whatever you carry down, you bring back up, kind of deal. Well, they got smart because they all had like they both had like these blankets, and so like they would fill the blanket up and come down. And I'm like, all right, and then like they'd put it all back and throw it over their shoulder and back, and away they would go. And it's like great, like at
Hey,
least
yeah,
it was picked up.
you're
So I
doing
mean,
it.
we even have a pickup basket for our dog because like she has
Nice.
all her
I'm sure.
toys, and
Yeah.
so like she'll pull them out and throw them around the room, and it's like throw them back in the basket. So
Yeah. And that's
yep.
it. And
Yeah.
it's done. And you don't have stuff laying around everywhere. And a big part of my cleaning irritation is the fact that I can't walk through a room. There's stuff all over the floor. The kids have been in there, they haven't picked up their stuff, and picking up stuff is a skill you need to learn at like 2, and you can. But having that basket there specifically for it is so much easier. I love it.
Well, and making a game out of it too when they're little, like kids like to help pick up or whatnot, but be like, I bet you can't beat me to pick up the room faster.
I'm better. I get you.
Like
And then
they want to win.
learn teaching them colors and shapes. I'll tell you, you pick up all the blue blocks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, blue block. So it's that. And giving that and everything you do, again, making it a game. Kids learn by playing, tying that all in together.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it for me is having a trash can in every room. Now, why I didn't think of this, I don't know. But I'd never had a trash can in my living room. Just didn't. I didn't have a trash can in my bedroom. I had one in the bathroom right beside it, but it's a tiny one beside the toilet, and anything in the bedroom would just basically sit on the bed until I took it into the kitchen.
Curse you,
Um,
tiny toilet.
it's tiny toilet, but every kid having their own trash can, and again, teaching them responsibility. Your trash goes in here. You take the trash out. Keep 5, 6 extra trash bags in the bottom, so you don't have to go looking for one. Take one out, redo it, take that trash out, and again, teaching them the responsibility of it. I love that. I'm just like, I need more trash cans. Everybody needs a trash can. I bought 2 more trash cans yesterday just for stuff
Corey's
like
got
that.
a trash can beside her bedside that actually you wave your hand and it opens up for you and then it closes automatically. And it's like a small trash can.
She's a Jedi.
It's something like that.
She's a
But
Jedi.
But yeah, she was like, I just want something that's just constantly closed unless I really needs to be opened. And then she's like, I don't want to touch it for it to be opened. And so she found this no touch
Nice.
trash can. And I'm like, okay, girl, whatever works for you.
All right. So pooping alone. I don't know if y'all know this, but once you have little kids, you don't poop alone unless you leave your house. If you're in your house, they're going to show up. Little hands under the door, something. And one of the things that I never did, which I wish I had when my kids were babies, well, so they were toddlers, was put them in the tub. Just pick them up. They're going to be in the room with you. They're a year old or whatever, just walking, I don't know, and put them in the tub and let them sit in the dry tub. Throw a ball in there, throw a ducky in there, whatever, but don't fill it with water, and just let them hang out in that little playpen until you're done with your business. Keep them out of
Yeah.
the way, keep them safe. They don't have to be standing on you or bouncing on you or whatever, or stuck outside, especially when they're little, because you want to have them, you want to be able to watch your kid when they're a year old. So
Never had to do that. But yeah, I could see that definitely being.
we've discussed before when I said, I want to talk about a strong willed child, and you went, what's that?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was at that point I started cursing your name, sir. So yeah, there's a lot of things. Again, maybe you're not gonna, you haven't experienced, but
It's
I
okay.
think it's
Yeah.
different
No,
children.
it's all good. Yep, definitely. For sure. I like you have on here talking about accepting screens and putting a timer on your TV. I think that there is a place for that. I think that's becoming more evident in different ways, especially with more quality educational things that are out there,
Mhm.
and but definitely putting a time on that. I mean, we even give the kids like timers for getting on the iPad, that kind of thing too. So I think that's super important.
Set the sleep timer on your TV. You're going to sit
Ah,
down and watch Bluey. You set a sleep timer for however long that episode's going to take. And you just tell your kids when that TV turns off, we're done.
I like
It's
that.
not you turning it off. And for whatever reason, they just accept it so much more. It goes off, then, like, okay, TV's done. And it just blows my mind. Like, what? Come on. You can't see me. You see me setting the timer. How do you not get this? But they don't. They look
Yeah,
at it and it's fine. The timer's set, the sleep timer goes off, the TV turns off, and they're ready to go on to the next thing. But accepting screens, I think, is very important. I do not think you should raise your kids on screens. I don't think anybody does, and we're definitely not saying that.
no,
But
we're definitely not saying that.
understanding that you will have a lot more screens in your life than you think. I would love it if you could be completely off the grid and you never have to worry about it. And great. I don't know how you're hearing our show, but good. Live your life. If that's what you can do, and again, go for it. But schools, education, there's so many things that you can do, not just for entertainment with screens, but entertainment as well. I will mention Bluey again.
Yeah,
Holy crap, that show is great. And the kids love it too, and it gives you an understanding, an idea, and it shows you about the world. And I feel like that's very valuable. A lot of
yeah,
times we can't get outside, but we can see the outside. I'm probably never going to go to the Alps. Nope, not. I'm not gonna. I'm definitely never going to climb Mount Everest. That's not going to happen. But I can watch people do it, and I can see
yeah,
and hear what they're experiencing through a screen. And I find things like that to be incredibly valuable for your understanding of the world.
yeah.
So
I
accept
so
screens. They're a part of you.
there's a couple really fun YouTube channels that the kids used to watch when they were little, and I could sit there and watch it too. It was all kind. It was a great show, just well done by the people who did it. One of them was marble racing. They either had like a track that they had made like out of some stuff. This same guy, he lived really close to the ocean, and so he would actually make marble tracks out of in the sand, which was really neat.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, he spent the time to make these amazing tracks. So, yeah, like marble racing, and there's a bunch of different channels for those, which are super cool. And you're like, all right, we're gonna cheer for the blue marble or whatever. Just you see which ones come in place, which ones get like locked up or whatnot. And then the other one, which this was probably one of my favorite shows because like, I I don't know a kid from our era that did not like Hot Wheels, but like that kind of car. But they had basically made like they were doing like die-cast car racing, so like
Mm-hmm.
little cars, and they had these amazing tracks that they built. And it was so cool to like see like they do like head-to-head competitions with different cars, and you could
Nice.
even this one was really neat, you could even send in your cars to them for them to race them against
Ah,
other
cool.
people, which was super neat too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they would do tournaments and all kinds of stuff like that. But I think it was like called like Diecast Racer, 3D Diecast Racers or something like that. But I'd sit there and watch those for a good hour
Yeah.
and just really get sucked into it. But it was like fun because you just were like, I can't believe that. Like you'd see one like crash off the track or whatnot.
Right.
So, but this stuff like that's like a lot of fun. My kids like the guys who, what is the name of those guys? Dude Perfect. They like the Dude Perfect channel,
Mm-hmm.
which those guys are always doing crazy stunts. And then there's another group I think out of New Zealand or something. Like, they're called like Ridiculous, whatever. They're dropping like bowling balls off the top of like dams and like trying
Yeah.
to hit trampolines that are
I've seen those.
300 feet below them or something crazy like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, yeah, I mean, like stuff that's the kind of stuff that I don't mind sitting down and watching with the kids because it's just as entertaining for me
Mm-hmm.
as it is for them. So, and
And
also too brings up great conversations about like how is that
exactly.
possible?
Yeah. That's it. How did this work? Why did this work? Why did it? I thought it was going to do this. Why didn't it do that? What's physics
Hmm.
behind it? And especially when they do like the slow motion, I dropped a bowling ball into a trampoline out of off of a 30-story building or whatever, and you watch it and it bends the trampoline down, and in slow motion, then you see it just rip it apart
Yeah.
because too much momentum.
Or they're like, we're gonna drop a car with a crane onto a trampoline and see if it bounces or not. And you're like, is that even possible? And
Right.
it's like, it's crazy to see, like, oh my gosh, like they actually did it. Like that's
Yeah.
wild. So all those shows, Mark Rober also too, if you're a science person, Mark Rober's got some great stuff out there too. He's actually, I would say he's probably one of the most popular scientists on the internet who has turned engineering into something other than a tennis ball on a string in a garage. Like, like he really has. Like he's made engineering like super cool with all the different things that you can do with it. So, yeah, like those are all great shows that you can watch an episode or two and be like, "All right, great. Like let's move on to something else." Like or hey, we're going to do lunch and we're going to watch this
Yeah.
episode in science. So you get a little bit of education while you're eating lunch during
Hmm.
the summer or whatnot. So, yeah, man, I like that a lot. I think that's a great idea. I like your spray bottle idea on here. So
Yes.
give a kid a spray bottle, let them run around and water the plants. Like,
Everything outside. They will water, they will spray everything, every plant that exists. And
sure.
you, especially because for me, I'm working in the garden and I need to focus on what I'm doing, but then I'm also having to watch my kid. How do I keep my kid like doing something that's probably not dangerous? I'm sure my
Yeah.
kid could figure out some way to hurt themselves doing it. But okay, here's a spray bottle of water. And I, again, never met a kid who didn't like water and spraying water. And I'm sure they're
Right.
out there, but every kid that I've ever here's a spray bottle spritz. I've done it with like my nieces, nephews, and other people's kids. And I'm like, here you go, take that. You water all those plants, okay? Just go spray them, and they'll be done for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep. I'm trying to look in here what you got because there's all kinds of
Well,
stuff.
there's a lot of little things, especially one, get multiple waterproof pads, mattress pads on your bed, your kid's bed, because your kid's going to pee through a diaper. Your kid's going to have an accident after they're out of diapers. Your kid's going to throw up. Your kid's just going to throw up. Okay. It's coming. Be prepared for it. Every facet of your life, you need some way to deal with the vomit. Waterproof mattress pad is amazing, but if you only have one, then they're going to pee on that mattress. And I will tell you, cleaning up a wet mattress is rough because they're gonna pee. Oh, I did one. You take off the thing, they're gonna wet their diaper again or whatever. Put two, put three, just so you have that rotation. Zippered mesh bags for socks. And
Oh,
this
no more
is
lost
for
socks? Is this your
across
this
the
is
board. Yes. Yeah. Because and I'll go to the next one. But yeah, get a little mesh bag. I think they call them lingerie bags, but just a little mesh bag. It'll zipper up. That's where their socks go. You can teach your child this is the socks bag. And when they take their socks off, instead of putting it in the basket or whatever, they'll put them in the bag for you. It's amazing. You have much more opportunity to keep your matched socks, which is great. You don't lose that one and go, where's the other one? And the second part of that is stop matching your socks. Let it go. Just let it go. It's okay if they want to wear one yellow and one blue or one dinosaur and one bat. Doesn't matter.
yeah,
The socks are just the smallest part of your day, and you can let that go.
like that. I was just thinking about this going back to the laundry basket thing. When your kids are little, when they're just getting to the point where they're starting to set up and whatnot, being able to sit them in the laundry basket, maybe while you're doing like while you're folding laundry, you need them to stay in a
Oh,
space, is sitting
yeah.
them in there with a toy or two to like play around with. Which sometimes they like I've seen where kids get in there and they're just like, oh, this is nap time, great. Boom. Like next thing you know, they're using their stuffed animal as a pillow and they're out
Mm-hmm.
cold. So
And they're done.
like
Yeah, that's where you want to be. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's another one I just was thinking about myself.
Yeah.
So
And containing them, keeping their mess in one spot
yep.
is so good because, again, they'll spread it all over the house, whatever it is. I like using baking trays, the big baking sheets, and we'll put your blocks on this so blocks stay on the sheet,
Yep.
period.
Same thing
They
with
just,
Play-Doh.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Play Doh and, of course, clay when you get to that point. Having that, this is your mess spot. Don't tell
Yep.
them that, but this is the spot I'm giving you, and they stick to it most of the time.
I also like the idea of if you're gonna make slime, put it in a Ziploc bag. I've seen where people actually will. I remember, I think my kids would go to a party or whatnot. And they'd come back. They had taken like acrylic paint and put it in a Ziploc bag and maybe put like some little non-sharp, like maybe like marbles or whatnot to like roll around in there as well,
Yeah.
which I think is another really cool idea to keeping things contained.
And make your own slime. Add some food coloring, make 3 or 4 Ziploc bags of slime for different colors, and then
Mm,
let your kid just make shapes in it. It's mind blowing. And it keeps slime from actually entering your home environment because slime is awful. And
yes.
it is delightful and fun, but oh my word,
I
it's
hate
just the
kinetic
worst
sand
to
about as
clean up.
much as I hate slime.
Oh,
So
oh my
that's the other
God.
one.
Yes. Just, oh, sorry. They don't have kinetic sand anymore. They don't make it. We're
Mm-mm.
not bringing that in my house.
The
Yeah.
sand is no longer kinetic anymore. You got to go to the beach to play in the sand.
Right. There you go. The silly
It
place.
stays in my house, stays out of my house.
And going into school, and I know we're getting close to time. So, but going into school, we've talked about a lot of different things about getting ready for it, but pre-buy your project supplies. Go ahead and buy 4 or 5 sheets of poster board, some glue sticks and some popsicle sticks and some pipe cleaners and spray glue. Have all that stuff ready because your kid will show up at 8:30 when they go to bed at 9 and say, "Oh, I got a project due tomorrow."
Keep shoe
And
boxes around.
just yeah, save your shoe boxes, your cardboard paper towel tubes, your toilet paper tubes. All of those things will come into play at some point, especially
Yep.
if they get into a Rube Goldberg machines, which I absolutely love. And we have a box of Rube Goldberg stuff, and I am really more a little disappointed now because my kids are past that and they don't make them anymore. They don't have a project. I mean, we could just make one for fun to turn the light on or something. Come on, guys. Yeah, but having all of that stuff ready ahead of time. Because yes, there are stores that will be open, but do you really want to be the one that has to go out to the store and buy a piece of poster board? Come on.
Right.
No.
No, you're
Have
not
that
wrong
stuff
there.
ready.
Well, the last thing I want to touch on before we end the episode is emotions. I think that, we've talked a lot about just different things to help around the house or whatnot, but you have on here, relax, all babies cry. Testosterone makes you angry when babies cry.
It
You're not
does.
wrong. I think, yeah.
That's a chemical reaction. I mean, that's just something that happens. Now, it's less if you're I think it's I don't remember what the love one is. The cortisol, I guess, is higher, but your testosterone level at any point, really, when you hear a baby crying, it's going to give you a visceral reaction. Now, it may be if your cortisol is higher, I'm going to run help this baby. But if your testosterone is higher, yeah, it makes you mad. Like, oh, you stuffed that baby for crying. And that's just how we're made up. That's our chemical reaction. So just when your baby's crying, all babies cry. All babies cry. So
Yeah.
just relax, calm down. You didn't do anything wrong. There's probably not anything big wrong. And just take a breath. You're okay. And so is your baby.
I like the be as silly as possible. I think what immediately my mind went to was the interview that we did with I can't think of his name, but his idea of what would Bluey do. It's very much in
Yeah.
line with that.
Yeah, exactly. Bluey's a great parent because he's just a goofball. They're willing to do whatever. Oh, is that a cruise ship now? Cool. Well, I'm going to sit on this cushion with you. Oh, wait, that's the captain's good. Where do I? And just being goofy about it.
Or sorry, it's what
Um,
would Bandit do, not Bluey. Bluey's the kid. What would
my
Bandit do?
apologies. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get crucified.
It's
I can
okay.
feel it. But to be fair, I'm old and my kids never watched Bluey.
Yeah. What would
They were,
Bandit do? That's what
what
it
would
is.
Bandit do? And Bandit is the dad. So, yep,
Bandit is the
yep.
dad. Yeah. I think this is one for the older kids in some ways, but it could also be for a younger kid or a strong-willed kid, as you say. The whole idea of when I make you spit your water out, that's hilarious. The whole
I got
idea
coffee on
of
my nose.
your kid saying like, "I hate you," and then the response of, "Well, I love you."
Yeah.
Like it's
And
okay.
just, yeah,
You're
I
gonna grow. You're gonna
love
grow out
you.
of that.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you hate me. I still love you. And
Yep.
when they're little and they're willing, you can hug them and kiss them and zerbits them and blow on their belly and all that stuff. But I love you. I love you. And it just stops them because they want a reaction from you. They're trying to teach you that they're in control,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And even as a teenager, they're doing it. I mean, you hear that a lot from teenagers who are grumpy and they're aloof and they won't talk to you and they're just almost aggressive at times. They're house cats, man. That's just what they are. But they still need your love. They're still testing. Do you love me? Do you really love me? And I'm going to be mean. And they're just mean. I'm
Yep.
going to be mean to you. And do you still love me? And yes, of course I still love you. No, I don't want you to treat me that way. I have boundaries, but I love you. And
Yeah.
it really just changes the way we deal with things. Cause I know, I mean, my God, I could not have told my mom, I loved her way too much. But if I had told my stepdad or my dad, I hate you, I wouldn't be here today. I mean,
I was
I
gonna
would not have
say.
made it past, I would be dead. I would have disappeared somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. It just,
it'd be like the social media test that they have going around where mom has already put the kid up to this to see how the dad will react, and it's things like, all right, I'm gonna say something to you and then you're gonna respond with like this, and it's like they do it and the kid's like, I hate you or shut up, and like the dad's like, what? What'd you say?
yeah. Yeah.
You're like, it was a
Yeah.
joke. It was a joke.
Yeah. We just needed to film your reaction to get likes.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but that's again the reality of it. Testosterone makes you aggressive. No, not overtly necessarily, but it puts you in a position that as a dad, you want to be the authoritarian figure a lot of times. You want
Yeah.
to be the end all be all. This is my house and I am right and you are wrong. And just, okay, cool. But let's talk about the psychology of a child
Yeah,
and,
right. No
and what you're
kidding.
doing to them, right?
Well, and so like the kind of going along with the psychology of child, and this is like the last one to touch on, but how we as parents react to kids getting hurt,
Yeah.
giving them the opportunity actually to sort of decide, all right, is am I really that hurt, or am I just waiting for mom or dad to like swoop in and that kind of thing? And there are so many times where a kid will maybe they'll fall or something or run and trip or whatnot. And the idea of not having an immediate reaction, like, yeah, in your head, you're like, oh, yeah, that probably stunned them pretty good. But
Yeah.
waiting to see how they're going to react because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to stop and they're going to have like just a stunned moment. And then they're going to turn
Yes.
around and they're going to look at you. And when they look at you, that's going to determine how their next reaction is. So
Yes.
if you're there and you're sitting there and you're going, you good? Like that, like, and not having that, like, oh my gosh, and like immediately getting up. Because if you do that, you're dealing with a crying kid right off. There you go. Like,
Yeah.
you're in consoling mode at that point.
Yep.
But if you can be just like, hey, everything cool? Like, but, or even just like wait to see what they're going to say. And that way, they don't feel like it. Or I like the thing on here is like they come up to you and they're like, I'm bleeding. Like, oh no, do we need to cut it off? Like,
Yeah. After making sure that they're okay. But yeah, that's the
sure,
joke.
yeah,
Marnie makes that joke all the time with the kids. Oh, do we need to cut it off? Like, what? No, we don't have to cut it off. Like, and it's again being silly. It is so ridiculous. Of course, you're not going to cut their arm off or whatever, but putting them, and again, it changes their mindset.
yeah.
They're suddenly
Or
like, oh, no, that didn't hurt as much
oh,
as I thought it did.
I scraped my knee. Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, and it's like, oh, okay. Do we need to go to the doctor? Oh, yeah, we should go. Well, they're probably gonna give you a shot for that. Never mind.
Yep. And
Say the word shot, and that'll shut things down real quick.
that'll stop it. The big one for me, and again, this is not something I did, this is something I just learned, is to ask your kid, did it hurt you or did it scare you?
Like that.
And for little kids, it's very important. Again, you're teaching them emotional self awareness, which is fantastic. We all need that. But you're giving them that opportunity to look at that situation and go, oh, no, I'm not hurt. I'm scared. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. So maybe you just need to step out of that situation, or maybe you need a hug or whatever it is that they need for that. But you're not actually hurt. You're not
Right.
injured.
Yeah.
And teaching them that mentality of it, because a lot of things in our life are going to scare us, but not hurt us. And we're going to react like we're hurt. We're going to give that emotional change. So I think, again, that's not my idea. I got that from the internet, from a mom blog, in fact, but I can't remember which one. but I read it several times. Just, did it hurt you or did it scare you? And either one is valid, but helping them understand it just scared you. You don't have a broken leg. You can walk. I'm not carrying you back to the car. Well, let's go.
I feel like that's also good for parents too, because like there are times where it's like, is this whole scenario something that scares you or are you hurt by it? Like
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
decide how you should react in certain scenarios as well. So, well, this has been a great conversation. Definitely touched on a lot. Definitely a lot more that could be talked about for sure. But I think that also I'd like to hear from the listeners as well as to if there's something we missed that they would be willing to put in the comments so that we can see their thoughts on these things as well.
Hmm.
Because we are not the end all be all for
Oh
answers.
God, no,
And
no.
so definitely want to hear from everybody else. So make sure to leave a comment about what you think is something that other parents should know, especially new parents, especially that kind of deal. But
Nice.
yeah, so other than that, definitely make sure you check out Home Dad Con. Still time to get registered late, but we'd love to see you regardless of that. And we will talk to you next week.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.